to the very first edition of Chalk Talk from the Denver Pioneers for the 2021-22 academic year. As here we are in the late portion of August, and we are getting kicked off with fall sports, as crazy as that is here in 2021. And thrilled to be joined in our inaugural edition here of this brand new academic year by Denver head men's soccer coach, the Jack and Sheila Weinberg head men's soccer coach, Jamie Franks, who joins us for the first time this fall. It's been 8 trillion degrees, but you've gotten some exhibition matches already in. You're set to go on the road in just a few days. Jamie, what's going on? It's good to see you.
We just have the attitude of gratitude, after the past, year and a half, to watch how, student athletes have, grown in resiliency. Their entitlement has gone down, just way more appreciative of things. And, you're almost pinching yourself that, the first game's Friday and that we get to be around each other. We get to be in a locker room, we get to train every day. And so we're just feeling really grateful for the opportunity to compete.
We're going to talk all kinds of stuff about this season, which gets started coming up here in about 3 days. And before we do that, a big change to the Pioneer program this year, as I introduced you, the Jack and Sheila Weinberg head men's soccer coach title, now part of a gift from the Weinberg's DU alumni, who will provide funding in perpetuity. This is a $1 million gift. And the impact that has on a program is so profound. What has that meant to you already? And especially knowing that this is something going forward that the program can build on. What does that mean to you now?
Oh, it's just, I'm honored to have the Weinberg name, in front of the coaching position. I think every alumni dreams of leaving the place better than when they found it. And, Jack and Sheila have done that. They're both DU alums, have both spent so much time and energy on campus, trying to leave it better. And, for us, we're just so fortunate, to be in a place where, we do have support and we do have resources. And so, what the funds do for us is it allows for a little bit of a flex fund, for, different activities or different resources, that the program needs. And, to have their support, their time, their energy, they're always around. They always come to a road game. They're always at home games. Jack's definitely a mentor of mine. And so it's just like, I'm thrilled because I've learned so much from him, just how to be a positive leader. And, I continue to do so. So just feel really humbled by it. And, I know there's been such an outpouring of alumni reaching out to further get that endowment up. And so, we're going to try to get the endowment up to 2 million here by the end of the calendar year. And we're going to keep pushing for it. And there's just been so many parents, alumni, people that have so much pride in the University of Denver, have asked about it. So we're just really excited. And I think that was Jack's main goal, is, just get more people involved. And, like I said, we're thrilled about it. I can go on and on about the resources that we're going to, be able to get from it. But, I'll save that for another conversation.
Especially in light of the last year and a half now. You said a little while ago, getting to be in a locker room, be around each other, be able to practice, travel, do all the things that, feel like normalcy again. When you look at the support that you've gotten from alumni and from donors and supporters, how much does that mean to you, just in terms of, kind of the loneliness I think we all felt a year and a half ago of trying to navigate this new world, but then seeing a family of people who love your program, love this university, come together and try to push that next step. What does that mean just in a personal sense to you?
I just think, the pandemic has provided more clarity for people. And I think a lot of the people that have reached back out to us, they're repayers. They're people that have, had a wonderful experience here as student athletes and, really grew from that experience. And, it's every year we're trying to leave it better, than the year prior. And so to have so many people reach out and, in a year that a lot of people struggled, we by far had our best fundraising year. We fundraised a foreign trip. We've got new video systems. It's just this idea that, people are repaying and I think they're reprioritizing, what's important to them. And for Denver soccer to be one of them, that's my main goal, is to leave it bigger than anybody else and to leave it better than than the day that we founded. And so we just continue to do that. And that's one day at a time, but to have the support of the, the alumni, really their engagement, their engagement is something that makes our program a little bit special, a little bit different. Our engagement with the student athletes, with the staff, with the admin. So it's just really cool. It's, we talk about family, and I think probably a lot of people preach family, but this is really a special collective group of individuals. And there's just been decades of success here, for the soccer program. And so we're just trying to add on to that.
All right, Jamie, let's dive in and talk about this season a little bit. You kick things off on Friday. We're recording this a little bit earlier in the week on Tuesday afternoon, and you get started on Friday. You go right out to a big test right out of the gate with a Pac-12 opponent in Oregon State. You got a 2-1 all-time record against Oregon State, but haven't faced the Beavers since 2014 in the NCAA tournament. On the wall behind you, we see all those Summit League plaques. Your guys picked to finish second in the league, but almost in a dead heat with Omaha for that top spot. To be able to go on the road and start things off with a handful of road games right out of the gate always gives you, I feel like, a good barometer and a good read on your team and what they've got early on in a season. When you look for Friday and what you've seen from your team so far in practices and getting ready to go for the year through your exhibition slate, what do you like so much about your guys early on this year?
Yeah, and we can talk a little bit more about the Summit League and being second in the Summit League. That's fine with us. It's just hard to argue. We've only missed out on 2 trophies since 2013. We joined the league in 2013, and we lost in 2017 in the 13th round of penalty kicks that year. And then this past in 2019, we lost the regular season. So to be second in a league is, it's good for my guys. It's good for my guys to see the respect, that the other teams have given us or not given us, but the reality of it is there's only been 2 trophies that we haven't gotten over this, the span of the past 8 or 9 years. And so, we take that one on the chin for sure. That's something that, when that comes out, it definitely refocuses us. And so, there's no surprise. There's 2 ways to get in the NCAA tournament: an automatic bid and then, an RPI. And, in 2019, we really went after the RPI, and I think it hurt us because, maybe we overlooked some of our opponents or games, in the Summit League, and, we won't do that anymore. We made that mistake. But with that being said, we still want to be able to have, the RPI, the way that they pick the at-large bids. It's a math, it's a math problem. And so our ability to play our in-conference and out of conference to make sure that we still have a top 20 RPI, that's the goal. And to go and test ourselves against, some of the best in the region. Oregon State, they're still up and coming a little bit. They've had a couple, good years. But for us, it's just, going out there to play them in Portland, it will be a great barometer for where we're at. And ultimately, no matter where we're at, the success of our program, the success of our student athletes is just based on being honest, being self-aware and saying, okay, this is where we're at. What do we have to do to move forward? And so I'm really excited about the group. I'm really excited about the collectiveness of the group. I think every good team starts with individuals who are intrinsically motivated. They should bring the passion, they should bring the purpose on the day. And, we have that. We haven't really had to ask them, ever for a higher work rate or more resiliency or things like that. And so the character of the locker room is right. And, we're just really excited to watch them be tested. And you're never really ready. Everybody talks about preparation, but you're never really ready, until you get punched in the face. And so I just like the character, the grit of the group. And, we're going to get 6 points.
This group, you've got a lot of really exciting young talent. You're bringing a top 10 ranked recruiting class. And the thing that's so weird about this past year and a half is not only recruiting being so different, but getting guys in and getting them acclimated. I would imagine for young players kind of feels like drinking out of a fire hose. How have they been getting used to, your program being on campus? I know obviously the academic calendar a little bit different at DU, but getting into the flow of what it's going to be like to be part of this program. How's that been for your freshmen?
Yeah, I think good. I mean, for the most part, a lot of the guys come in, without us even really knowing. Have such strong relationships with the current student athletes that, a lot of the group is here in Denver most of the year. And so, when I get them, on the first actual practice, the fitness levels are really high. The collectiveness, was there. They've already done a lot of their goal setting and things like that. And so, the freshman's transition is nice. These couple weeks, we fall into a little bit more trouble in the middle of September when we start school. For the incoming freshmen, they have kind of 30 days, 45 days, to just be soccer players. And then once we, join the rest of campus, and the rest of campus comes back, they're students first. And so that changes quite a bit of their stress, their time management on the day. But for us, we're just trying to teach them, good sleep habits, good morning routines, about anxiety, how to deal with it, gratitude practices, things that we believe are really important, to being the best version of yourself, things that, you have to have in, your daily routines, how you eat, how you sleep, all those things matter. And so in the club level, those things don't, the details, the margins are a little, they're just different. And I think when you play for results, everything's going towards getting 3 points on Friday night. And so the preparation, the details, what you do every single day is, important. And, I top 10 recruiting class, that's a great ranking, but, if I'm being honest, like those rankings really don't matter because, if you look at any of the classes that end after their 4 years, those are never the rankings. Now, really proud of my staff, Masaki Hemi, Brad Franks for bringing in those guys. But at the end of the day, we'll see who they are when it gets hard. We have one quote in our locker room. It's a Martin Luther King Jr. quote, but it's just, the ultimate test of a man is where he stands in challenge and controversy, not comfort and convenience. And so for us, in our eyes, it's all comfort and it's all been convenience, now. And so we'll find out a lot about that group, when they start to struggle and, where does their focus go? What sort of grit do they have? What sort of resilience do they have? But, make no mistake about it, there's like 7 or 8 freshmen that are absolutely going to help us right away. So that's very exciting. Has internal competition within the team, which is just the most important thing you can do as a coach, is make sure every position is up for grabs. There's competition within it, because then whoever wins it out, those people are going to be performing at a really, really high level. And if they slip up, they know that somebody's, on their heels ready to, next man up.
You mentioned a couple of members of your coaching staff. Masaki Hemi spent a few months in Japan. You get to bring him back. Your brother Brad, who you mentioned, joined the staff late last season. You've also got a goalkeeper coach in Brandon Bumpus. First time I know in a few years you guys have had that. As far as the staff gelling and being able to come together, I would think this year provides kind of a cool opportunity, because the pandemic makes it feel like, all right, let's just throw 2020 out. Let's get everybody on the same page. What have you liked about the way your staff has gelled so far?
Just that everybody's on the same page, including, Jose Arenas, he was volunteer. Now he's director of ops for us. He just does all the things for the student athletes. He puts them up for success every day. And, I think the one thing that should separate us is, we've got one job to do, and that's prepare, students for life after college, and how we go about that, and how we teach our character skills, and how we ask them to be bought in all the time, all in culture. These guys lived it. These guys, we're young staff, we're all under the age of 35. And so the way we relate to the kids, I shouldn't call them kids, the young men, is it's great, because we were in their shoes. And so for us, we try to be teachers first. And I come from a long lineage of teaching, and my family, that's what we do. And so that's it's the same type of philosophy that we have. And it makes every day really enjoyable, really fun to be around people that are building character traits, and and really believe that our job is to prepare them for life after college.
All right, Jamie, last question for you. Last year, this time a year ago, we're all kind of wondering, are we going to have fall sports? Are we going to have winter sports? What is the world going to look like 6 months from now? Especially for you guys as a fall sport, for so many, of your colleagues in the fall sports landscape to get pushed back to be playing a season in the spring, something you're not used to. Your final game last year ended up in the middle of April. And so, we're not even 6 months removed from that. But now you get a chance to go back to doing what we're all used to seeing you do, playing in the fall, getting these guys on campus over the end of the summer and building that culture and getting set for a new campaign, whether it's from a personnel standpoint or a style of play standpoint, or even just being able to have seen some of your guys out in the field 4 months ago now at this stage. What do you want Pioneers fans to be most excited about for this year as you get set to go back after a conference title, an NCAA tournament berth, and in pursuit of those big goals?
Yeah, just the mantra that we play every play, and that there's a fighting football mentality to what we do. I think we lost that, and I think when you, have success, sometimes you forget, what brought you the success, the DNA of that. And it's just passion. It's this purpose that we have every day. And, I think anybody that's even been on campus, you can hear us training, even in the summer when they were just playing pickup, you could hear them. And when you see that sort of passion involved every day, it just makes you want to be a part of it. It makes you want to root for these guys. I think the NCAA's got some tough decisions, on their hands coming up, and men's soccer is really going to push. I'm on a committee, for it, but we have to split our season. At this point, it's dangerous for the kids to play the way that they're playing Friday, Sunday games. Now there's so much data metrics that would suggest that's really dangerous for the player to then 2 days after 48 hours to be playing and running another 7 miles. And so the NCAA is going to have to make some decisions. And, men's soccer, we're asking for, a 2-season model. And what that 2-season model looks like is no preseason. Why are we bringing the kids back a month early? We're spending tons of money with housing and food and all these other things. When they can come back with the rest of the student body, and what that longer summer does for them is it allows them to play in the USL, allows them to play with these amateur contracts and, whether they're MLS teams, but it better aligns our development with the MLS and with the USL. You have a season from pretty much September to Thanksgiving. They get a normal break like everybody does. No crazy travel. We only travel once on the weekend, so actually more, in-person class, less missed class time. And then the season's going to start hopefully, the second part of the season, just play 10, 15 games in the fall, 10, 15 games in the spring. It's the same amount of games. Mm-hmm. They're just spread out over the length of it. And so what we were able to do last year is we were able to get them better. Everything is about experience, and you need games to experience things. You can train and train and train and train, and that's great. But the reality is you need games. And in the spring, we don't have that. And I think it's really hurt. And I think you've seen a lot of kids forego their college education, to go pro because, our model just it's outdated. And so it's going to be on the voting in April. We're really excited about it. We thought that we had the votes to pass it. And then COVID, obviously, came in that March. And so we're just kind of regathering ourselves. But, for us, this longer developmental model, it was just a little bit of a taste of that. And so for us, it's just like summer came and gone, and then the guys were back, and ultimately those freshmen, those guys that come in, sometimes I feel bad for them because, like I said, earlier, is there's a lot of things that go on, to managing, to be the best version of yourself, both academically, social, and soccer wise. And sometimes the freshmen just trip up, they get tripped up, something goes on, and then because the season's only 3 months, it's just not enough time for them to really to kind of catch their feet. And so what we saw from freshmen over the long haul was just kind of a little bit more consistency, and the highs weren't so high and the lows weren't so low. And we're just super excited, to be back. And like I said, you're almost pinching yourself. I'll believe it when we're out there and I hear the whistle go. But just so excited, so excited for the team, so excited for the older players, my oldest guys, a lot of guys, we have guys in real estate, we have grad school, we have, majors, double majors, things like that. Those guys have just done such a terrific job. When a lot of people would have made excuses, play victim, they didn't. They really just looked at the things they could control, and we worked at those things. And now, fast forward, a year and a half later, there's a lot of things that we're actually keeping, a part of what we did, with COVID. And so, with anything, we just tried to use it as a time. I know it was such a tough time for so many different people in so many different ways. But we just tried to control what we can control and focus on what we could. And so the outcomes, the product of that, will be on display come Friday.
It is a very exciting time to not only be a Pioneer and be in that building right now, but just to be a Pioneers fan. And he is the Jack and Sheila Weinberg head men's soccer coach as Denver and Oregon State get things started coming up on Friday in Corvallis. Jamie Frank, so much luck to you this season. It makes me so excited seeing how you guys are so excited to be back in the fight for this year. And it just kind of gets you fired up, feeling like, all right, we're back. We can do this again. And you kick things off this 3-game road trip and get after the Beavers on Friday, man. Best of luck.
Thank you.